Mm, yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, that's the ticket right there, my friends. That's the ticket right there. Man, oh man, it's nice to be back in the studio. Welcome back to the TrapHouse Podcast. It's good to have you all listening again. Not sure when or how this came out, but it's coming out, and it's coming out more frequently than I had thought I'd be able to do it. And you know what? It's thanks to determination, a little bit of hard work. I'm kind of bragging on myself a little bit because I made a goal. I set a goal. I had a goal, and I said, you know what? If you do this, then this will happen. So I've just been trying to get in the swing of things, and if you do it over and over again, eventually it becomes routine, and then routine becomes part of your life. And you do it, you don't even know you're doing it. It's really really neat. It's pretty neat, Like I used to have a habit of getting very angry at times, for sure. Definitely had an anger problem when I was a kid. That is a definite. And you know what? It transpired a little bit, and transformed me into the man I am today. So I can't take back none of the shit that went down. I'll never take back any of the shit that's gone down or that's happened or taken place. Because if you really think about it and you boil it down, which is what we like to do on this podcast, is we really like to boil shit down to the nitty gritty, right? But if you boil it down, every decision you've ever made, you made believing you were right at that very moment. Whether you were right or not in that very moment, I mean, that's not to say, but to say that you would ever take back a decision you made would mean to say, I don't, I wouldn't do it. What's the point of having regrets? When you made those decisions at the time you made them, and in the place, and in the emotional atmosphere, the mental state that you were in, the physical surroundings, whoever was there to participate in it, you know. So whatever decision you made at the time you made it believing you were right. And even if you were wrong, you still made a decision based on you thinking you were doing the right thing at that time. So you know what? Just keep living with goals, positive, reinforcing goals, saying, you know what, I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to do this. But then you got to say, what does it take to get there? That's up to you to figure out. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your life coach. I'm not your dad. Definitely ain't your mama. But again, let me just say thank you for showing up. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for lending me your ear. If you have two ears, thanks for lending me them both. I just hope that today will be not really a blessing, but I hope today will put a smile on your face. I hope that whatever you do or decide to do will put a smile on your face, if even for a brief moment. It's not really worth going through life with a little miserable looking face, you know? Cheer up. Life's not that dismal. Things aren't that bad. I mean, if you believe what you hear all the time, and you constantly fill your head with fear mongering, then you'll feel a certain type of way, you think? Now, if you were to swap that time out with positive reinforcement, or you know, the idea of doing things that don't revolve around what other people say you have to do. Take a step outside the box and see what you're good at. Do something new. But I would suggest, if the world is getting close to, its end point, I wouldn't spend it being miserable or bitching and complaining about something that's not even worth bitching and complaining about to begin with. Again, guys, I get off on these little tangents And I can't even apologize for them. I'm happy it's happening. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're listening. I just want to welcome you back to episode number 5, ladies and gentlemen, of the TrapHouse Podcast. Yeah, I said episode number 5. I didn't think I was going to make it through episode 1. But here we are. Let me brush up on a few things. The last podcast, we had a great, here's something to think about. And it was on teabagging. We asked, what do you think about teabagging? Now, this is a pretty in-depth topic because we can go many different ways with it. I sure love dipping tea in some real nice hot water. I like taking a nice tea bag, dipping it in some nice hot water. But do you think that's the kind of tea bagging we're talking about today? Is that the kind of tea bagging I asked you to think about for whatever amount of time has passed? And I really hope you put some thought into it, because tea bagging is not something you just do. You gotta be really, really sneaky. You gotta be able to make that decision so quick. And sometimes you've got to do it out of love. Yes, I did say that. You know, teabag. I believe it. Sometimes you gotta dip that sack out of love. You could drape it over the eyelids. You could just plop them right on the lips. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You know, get a little. You know. My favorite is like the slingshot, though. You know, you hold the base, you grab it, and you pull back like a rubber band, and you just let go. That's official teabagging in my book. Now, it does leave a little redness on the face, but you learn to live with it. But really, what I'm looking for is, what do you think? Where do you stand on the teabagging phenomenon that's sweeping the nation? I don't know if you guys heard about this, but if you're not teabagging, you're getting teabagged, and if you're getting teabagged, you're not teabagged. So I'd get on the teabagging train and start dipping the wick, you know what I mean? Start slapping the old sausage handlers around. Start slapping the old sausage meatball combo around. Give a little show a little love with the boys. Show a little love from the boys in the pouch, and dip them on your girl's chin. Just drop them on your girl's chin. They love it. They love it. Of course, get permission first. I mean, gotta always get permission. Remember, that's key. You don't want to be teabagging a sleeping janitor on a Thursday. Oh, man. Stay vigilant and teabag when necessary, and get teabagged when necessary. Really not sure what I'm talking about. Just what I thought about when I was thinking about teabagging. It's just like, it's a pretty fun activity, but when you boil it down, you know, you boil it all the way down, you're just slapping your old ball bag somebody's face. That's it. A big old slap. So yes, I'm all for the teabagging. Bring it on, baby. And I ain't taking no balls to the face. Not for none of you motherfuckers. Honestly, though, I reach 100,000 subscribers, I'll get a sack of balls in the face. I'll do that for 100K subscribes. Again, this is non-monetized. I ain't looking for no money out of this, but I'll definitely take some balls in the face for 100,000 subscribers. Write that down. Put it on the calendars. Because at 100,000 subscribers, Epiphany Chris is taking some balls to the face. And this time it's going to be willingly. So here we go. Again, guys, and ladies and gentlemen, and thoughts and trans and polys and all you differentiate I don't even know how to do it anymore, but all of you humanoids out there, was slavery really abolished? Or is it just now accepted and spread worldwide? Again, let me ask. Here's something to think about. Was slavery really abolished? Or is it just now accepted worldwide? I'd like you to sit and ponder on that for however long it's going to be between episodes, because I'll tell you right now, I'm really looking forward to that episode. So stay tuned, folks, because we are going to get in the dirt. We're going to get in the thick of it, and we're not even going to care if we come out dirty. Because look at this. The internet, you're made and meant to get dirty. And if you don't like it, kick some bricks, kick some sticks, suck some dicks, get the fuck out of here. Don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't want to hear it, don't listen. But was slavery really abolished? Let's find out in the next episode. Something to think about. Here's something to think about for the future. So I'm not sure how everybody's been going. I know I've been doing pretty okay lately and recently, and in this journey we call life. This past week, though, I've got to tell you, I had some interesting interactions. I've seen some things, and I'd like to share just one thing with you today. Just a real quick story. I was in a room, and all day I really listen to music. I'm a music guy. I'm down for any types and all types of music. But anyway, I keep the headset in a good majority of the day. But out of the corner of my ear, I hear, "You had a tick?" So I perk up a little bit, and I'm like, "Oh man, ticks! I've got dogs. I'm worried. Maybe there's a new tick strain, something I need to know or hear about." But what I heard was nothing that I thought I'd heard. The gentleman says, "You had a tick?" And then under the gentleman's breath, he said something. And then the guy says, "I asked if you had a tick. I didn't say you were a dick." The other gentleman stands up with fury in his eyes and his eyes bulging out of his skull, and he looks this man right in the face and he goes, "No! The tick was on my dick!" "The tick was on your dick," the man says. "Yes, the tick was on my dick." "Jesus Christ! Who found the tick on your dick?" he says. "The doctor found it." This guy didn't know he had a tick on his dick, but lost shit tons of weight, didn't know why. Goes to the doctors, comes to find out there's a tick just sucking the life out of his pecker. Let me tell you right now, if there's one thing that could suck the life out of you worse than a woman, it's a tick on your dick. And there's no swatting that bad boy away. Maybe twist it out. But I'll tell you right now, I find a tick on my dick, just lop the dick off. Just lop it off. So there you go. That's a little slice of heaven from where we were at. Or where I was at. However you want to say it. But I'm looking to get some normal, everyday tick information. Come to find out, I work with a guy who had a tick on his dick. And now it's a thing because tick on a dick. Someone's got a tick on a dick. Tick on a dick. What you gonna do with a tick on your dick? What would you do if you got a tick on your dick? It's gotta be crazy. Crazy to be in that situation. Just hearing about it made me grab my cock and balls and say, "Oh, not me. Not me." That made for an interesting lunch conversation. So I went on a hike, and I did a little nature walk, and I like to get out there and stretch the leg muscles. I like to move around. I don't like to sit on my ass and really do nothing all the time. It's not really the life for anybody. But anyway, I was able to find a new spot. I never hiked in this spot before. For as long as I've lived in the region I've lived in, I've never hiked this spot. But come to find out, it's got this really nice. It's got this nice place where you got a nice boulder that you could jump off of into like 20 foot of water. It's real nice. Anyway, I was looking for a place to go, and my buddy says, "Hey, have you ever been to this place?" And I said, "No." And so he draws me a map, and I'll tell you, folks, it was very interesting. It was a map it was a map, I guess, that pointed to a direction of travel, but the direction of the travel led you to a hairy vagina. The trail we would take leads us to an impasse where we can take a left or a right. There's a big rock in the water at the impasse, and looks like a hairy vagina with a nice sized clit. This map that was drawn for me, and I'll tell you right now, we found our destination, no problem. We made it there with ease. Like, this lady just spread wide open and said, "Come inside, come inside." Very nice, very simple, very easy, but hand-drawn maps are very unique. And another unique thing is getting directions. How confusing is it to get directions from a stranger? And not only that, but how confusing is it to get directions from a stranger in a place you've never been? Not only do they think that you know the names of all the streets and know where all the Getty gas stations are, but it's pretty confusing. How confusing are those directions? You take a left, you'll see the building, the Capitol building there. You take a left, and then you're gonna see a pine tree next to a willow bush, and you'll see Betty. She sits out there from time to time, and she likes to wave and say hi. She gives free BJs on the weekends, though. Nobody knows that. I just told you a secret, but free BJs on the weekend. That's bologna and jam sandwiches. She gives them out all weekend. Bologna and jam. Yep. For sure. It's like you're throwing in all these extra details I really don't need, friend. I just need to know how to get to the nearest shopping center. I need to know how to get to the water. I need to know how to get to the boat launch. How do you get? Can you tell me without using your hands? What are you? You from Jersey? I don't know. So, like, when you get directions, when you're using that GPS, boop, 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 and it takes you in the wrong way, right? And then you got to stop and ask for directions. How weird is it nowadays to stop and ask somebody for directions, though? When you have to stop, that person's got to look at you like, are you a retard? Did you forget your phone at home? Is your car an idiot too? How do you not follow a GPS in this day and age? There's no need for nobody to get no directions from not a nobody, not another single person. Nobody needs to ask nobody for directions ever. Even still, nobody should ever have to ask for anything anymore. I heard the other day that pretty soon there's not going to be a need for schools. There's going to be no need for schools. If you have all the information, any and all information at the palm of your hand, what's the point of having to go to school? Makes sense. It doesn't really, because school really does teach you structure and does guide you a little bit. Also, nowadays, I guess it teaches you sex ed at whatever age it is. Teachers banging kids, kids banging teachers. I mean, roll the dice, that's what's happening. Shit's happening all over the place. It's kind of sad. But yeah, man, best directions I ever got came on a hairy pussy map. It looked like a hairy, hairy pussy. And it was nice. It was a nice, hairy pussy. And it got me to my destination. And I definitely had a great time. Oh, you know? Sometimes you just gotta let loose. You gotta shake the goose loose. Shake it loose. Shake it off. Woo! Woo! Just shake it off. So really what the subject or the object or the thing that I really wanted to talk about today, or really kind of wanted to give my opinion on, because obviously this is a podcast that does not operate on facts. This podcast doesn't operate on evidence. This podcast doesn't operate on fact-finding missions. This podcast doesn't operate on any outside interference. So anything that comes out of that I think of, I'll say on here. And if it's true or not, it doesn't really matter. Because I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter. And if you think it matters that much, well, I got some herb you need to be blazing up on, because it'll make you not care. And it's not really about not caring. It's just about, hey, chill out, dude. They used to say take a chill pill. Who's got that chill pill? Right? What's the chill pill? Somebody tell me. Write it in the comments. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. There's only one way other people get to hear this garbage out of my mouth, and it's only if you folks push it along. Because I ain't even got marketing funds for a good mic. You think I got marketing funds to be like, hey, everybody, listen to my podcast? Piff, Chris, you got a podcast? Yeah, I got a podcast. You want us to listen to it? I would love it if you listened to it. But you'd probably be offended. A lot of the people who I know, if I told them that I had a podcast and I encouraged them to listen to it, I wouldn't care. But the best people to judge the podcast are people who don't know me. So judge away. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you got to say about the guy you don't know. On that note, let's talk about the art of the hug. You heard right, ladies and gentlemen. The TrapHouse Podcast is bringing you the hard-hitting info. We are bringing you the hard-hitting fucking info you need to hear. And here it is. The art of the hug. What do you know about properly hugging another human? Or a baby? Or a child? Or a dog? Or a cat? Or a lobster? Or a giraffe? Everybody likes hugs. Except for bears, maybe. They like hugs a little too much. You know? The funny thing about a hug is it means something. And if done improperly, means even more. So let me break down the hug. Let's first start with why you're hugging somebody. What the fuck would be the reason to hug somebody? So a lot of people say, hey, you see somebody who's down, like, you need a hug. You need a hug. Is it, do you know why people say that? I'm going to say the reason why people say that is because, the closeness that you feel when you're with somebody there, when you give somebody a hug, that really puts two people really close together. So the companionship, I guess, or that closeness. But anyway, let me tell you what I know to be true about a hug. Now, I coached a baseball team with a buddy of mine. His name was Matt. And he's a no-till farmer. One of the best ways to farm. Probably the greenest farmer I know. Literally, the greenest farmer I know. Shout out to you, Matt. If you're listening, shout out, bro. Love you. I miss you like crazy. But anyway. Yeah, Matt, the no-till farmer, taught me how to properly hug another human. Number 1, you go heart to heart. Never, when you go in to hug someone, you go head over their left shoulder. When you go to hug someone, you go head over their left shoulder, thus causing your hearts to meet and join as one in an embrace. The hug isn't the hug unless your hearts are connected. And it's very important. It's a very, very important thing that the hearts connect. Now, when somebody says, hey, do you need a hug? That's why they need to hug. They need that. They need that heart to heart. They need that feel, that pump and that pump. Okay? It's all about the embrace. Okay? The embrace, the warmth, and the vibrations you get when you get in. And then we talk about, you got the smell, the feel. What about that awkward genital closeness that you got? Men to men, men to women. Women to women I can't speak on, but I like watching it. So let's what about the head to tit? You know, you got that young middle schooler giving hugs, their head's right in the titty. Now for a young boy, then you're thinking, what's up now? How you gonna how have we not figured out the hug yet? We're smashing titties and faces. We're hugging over the right shoulder. We're not hugging over the right. We're not touching heart to heart. Listen, the hug is an important part of our society. It's the glue. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of that love juice. It's the glue, that holds us together. But if you're not hugging right, you better be. And I'm trying to break it down for you. The hug is extremely important. Now, when you hug, you don't want to hug too long. Sometimes you can hug real long. If you really like that person, for sure, hug a long time. But that hug, the embrace, that initial embrace where you wrap your arm around, you got that left arm going in around the upper shoulder and the right arm going around the lower back there. And you pull in tight and you squeeze almost like a boa wrapping up its dinner. That fucking squeeze and that warmth that you feel. I'm telling you right now, if you've hugged a person and you don't feel warmth inside their body, they're probably a zombie. I'm just assuming. I'm not saying they are a zombie, but I don't know what they identify as. But if they're cold, they may be freezing to death. They also may be in a fridge. They may have just went swimming in the Arctic. What could I say? But if you hug somebody and they're cold, you might want to check their pulse and watch your neck. But the warmth, that warmth of that embrace. When I was taught that by Matt. But anyway, that good hug that you get, getting taught how to hug for the first time. Jesus Christ, it's the best feeling in the world. To be able to exchange that time together. And then the vibrations that you get, your hearts are pumping. Hearts are pumping at the same time. All the blood vessels, everything in your body's moving. Your body's such a great organ. Your whole body is such a great thing that when you bring two of them together, it's like fucking electricity, bro. That hug, you can transfer energy. You can transfer your spirit. You can transfer your soul to these people. You can transfer energy through a hug. And you can feel it. The initial hug. You hug anybody or anything, you can feel it. And if you say you don't, you're full of shit. That's not even opinion. Those are facts, in my opinion. Facts, in my opinion. That's going to be a new segment. And then the feeling you get. Feelings to me really are something new. Although, in all actuality, your feelings don't mean jack shit to fucking nobody. And those are just facts. But when you're in a hug on somebody and you love that person or you're trying to comfort and console that person, the feeling you get knowing that you're helping someone and you're actually part of the fucking healing process. I mean, that's just like coming twice in a row, man. Feels that good. Now let's get to the awkward. That awkward genital closeness. Like, sometimes when you hug another dude, when you're trying to be like, dude, I'm there. You hug it, you got to push your butt out a little bit. Real men go tip to tip, man. Real men go shaft to shaft. Real men slap them dicks together. There ain't no pulling away, you fucking pussy boy. Man up. Get a real hug. Cry a little bit. That awkward genital closeness. You got to get over that. The fear of being ashamed or afraid. Or, oh, I don't want to feel gay. Really? Over a hug, you're going to feel a little gay? You got to poke your butt out? Oh, our dicks will touch. We got clothes on, you fucking
Fagoli.
You can't be doing that. What is the fucking weirdness for, you know? Don't be so weird. It's awkward for sure, but you know what? You man up and you get that hug, man. But always remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is extremely important to remember that you go heart to heart. Not so much tip to tip. It's very important that heart to heart is a thing. Because when you get in on that hug and you fucking really crank in on it, you know, it's deep. It's very personal. Hugs are very personal. And you'll hug anybody. I'll hug anybody. And from what I hear, Andrew Cuomo hugs everybody too. I hear Joe Biden likes to get real close and hug little girls. I don't know. These are things I hear. I'm not doing no research, but those are the kind of hugs you want to stay away from. Okay? There's good hug touch, and then there's bad hug touch. That's for a later episode. Today, we're just talking about the fucking power of the hug, baby. The power of the hug. And if you haven't been hugged in a while, just hug anybody. You know who really is always up for a hug? The Walmart greeter. That guy is always up for a hug. And I'll tell you right now, probably needs it. Probably needs it. That ain't a good job. That's a shit job, dude. People call you names all the. I give that. You know what? I encourage everybody. The next time you go to Walmart, next time you go to Target, next time you go anywhere where somebody greets you at the door, give them a hug. Say, hey, can I hug you? Because obviously it's sexual assault nowadays to hug someone without their consent. Last I heard, anyway, I wouldn't really know. Again, this show is built on nothing at all. This is built on some sand. I'll tell you right now. The TrapHouse Podcast will crumble any minute, but I won't let it because I don't give a fuck, and neither should you. You should wake up every morning saying, I'm a free fuck, and I'm gonna free fuck my way to wherever free fucking place I want to free fucking go. So if you choose to do this job, do that job the best you can. Say fuck everything else. If you got a girl, you're married, you whatever you choose to do, just do it. I encourage y'all, just do it. If you're good at something, do it. If you're not good at something, get good at it and do it. This podcast has one goal, and that's just to get these types of messages out. It's really all over the place, and those who listen must have a good mind. They say geniuses talk to themselves. I feel like a genius every time I open my mouth into this microphone. Am I a genius? I'll tell you right now. Fuck no. According to anybody and anywhere who gives me a test, I definitely won't be the genius at the end of the day. I will come out 100% full-blooded, dumb as a fucking box of rocks. I couldn't tell you left from right sometimes. I couldn't tell you up from down most of the time. If I could live in a world where nobody cared about what anybody else was doing, I think we'd all be at peace. I think that's how peace would be accomplished, is if we went back to the old ways of not being all up in everybody's business. Stay the fuck to yourself, and then you see something, say something, but other than that, keep your shit to yourself. I mean, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Let me get a hallelujah from the Pentecostal crowd.
Hallelujah, hallelujah,
It's very interesting to me to know that we live in a world where we care more about what other people think. Stay focused on your goals. Wake up every morning saying, I got this. I've said this before, not here, not on the podcast, but I tell people every day. When I wake up in the morning, I look myself in the mirror and I say, go at it like you don't know shit. Face today and learn something. Learn something else today. Do something for somebody else. Go that extra little bit. Go that extra mile. I really don't like saying go that extra mile because sometimes a mile is fucking long as shit. I'll say give me that extra 25 feet. Okay? Go that extra 50 feet. A little bit does go a long way. Now that counts only really in paint, but it does go a long way. Just put a little bit of your effort in, man. That's it. You'll wake up feeling a lot better about yourself. You'll wake up feeling a lot better about your choices. You won't have any regrets. Positivity breeds positivity, people. And I'm telling you right now, get out there and hug somebody. Hug them the right way. And tell them that you appreciate them. Or that you know somebody that maybe appreciates them. Or maybe somebody doesn't appreciate them. And you'll be the person that'll appreciate them today. Don't let the shit going on in this world get you down. Don't let people tell you what to do. Thank you so much again. And I appreciate all the likes, comments, and subscribers. Just keep on doing it. Keep sharing it. Keep passing it along. And make friends in the comments, guys. If you got to make a comment, make a comment. If you don't like what I got to say, let me know. Or just don't listen. But really, guys, I appreciate it. Make wise choices like Mom always said. And until next time, thank you for listening to the TrapHouse Podcast.